Marine, you're in shape. Let's go. TFPers, time for a tactical load-bearing equipment review. And yes, that word serves a purpose. It tells you we're talking about stuff designed for war fighting. In this POU, that's what tactical means. Going to talk about the Condor modular chest rig. Let's go back in time. 2 years ago, if you were to ask me, Nutnfancy, what do you think about Condor stuff? I probably would have told you that it's crap and to avoid it. In fact, I was fairly myopic in that view, and the only way I was able to overcome it is by continuing study of the Condor line. And I have discovered over time that there is actually some pretty good stuff in the Condor line. It just depends on what it is. Witness, in annotation, the Condor soft shell. Yeah, I know it's a copy of the tag jacket, but it rocks. High value, it just works. It's a great piece of kit. Now, as time went on, I was like, well, maybe I need to get an item or two of Condor in the Nutnfancy project for testing, start putting it through the ringer, see how it holds up, you know, because I know a lot of my guys don't have a ton of money. You know, I'm talking soldiers included, law enforcement officers included, and maybe I can give them some good data points on Condor. So here it is, the Condor chest rig. And it has been thoroughly tested in the Nutnfancy project by this point. I mean, at least 5 outings, multiple users have worn it. We've taken it through the dirt, prone shooting, running and gunning. I thought it's been a pretty fair test. Caveat though, we're not talking a long-term, multi-year test or a year-long test. I've probably given about 6 months though. That's pretty good. So what you're going to get is my data points. You know, like I always say, I'm not going to say they're always right and they're always correct, and that if you buy this, you know, you may not discover a problem that my testing did not reveal. I just can't do it. I don't have a crystal ball. I can tell you what my thoughts on it, and that's I'm going to attempt to do that via talking point, forgetting stuff, jumping around like I always do. But overall, you're going to find it to be a pretty thorough review on what is a $40 chest rig. And don't forget that. It's $40. So let's keep it real when we're talking about our expectations of the rig. There are the things that really fascinate me with gear, and I'm talking knives, guns, backpacks, sleeping bags, tents, all the stuff I talk about in Nutnfancy project. What really fascinates me if I can identify something that performs beyond its price level. You know what I'm saying? That, yeah, it's $40, but it performs like a $150 LBE piece of kit. That is what I really want to turn my TMPers on and identify that gear. Okay, stay tuned. I'll tell you if that actually satisfies it. Also, when we talk about the Condor brand, maybe the Voodoo Tactical brand, I will say that I still, to be honest, have some prejudice against it in a lot of different areas. Just because I've looked and studied their gear. They use a lower quality. This is included too. If we were to peel this apart, you'd see what I'm talking about. Well, actually, this one's actually higher. What I'm talking about is a Condor nylon they use. A lot of it's that vinyl-backed crap that they use. I really hate it. It's not an ultra quality. I'm kind of jumping ahead. An ultra quality Condor nylon. So I like good quality nylon. And there's other high value modular chest rigs, plate carriers out there that use such stuff. Witness the True Spec chest rig. This is a ultra high quality Condor nylon, better than this one right here. Just so you know, the webbing's higher quality, same price point. Okay, keeping it real. I'll do a separate review on this. Okay, this is a nice rig. This is a pretty good rig. All right. I still have some prejudice, so I'm dealing with it, and I stay open-minded as I can. I think a lot of times in the tactical community, to include the forums, they're established as a groupthink, which isn't fair to a manufacturer. I think Condor might be the recipient of that, and there's some guys that say, Condor, you know, that's just toy gun kit. It's garbage. Well, I don't know if that's accurate. I can understand where the sentiment comes from, having had some bad experiences with it. I mean, I did a video like a year and a half ago saying avoid Voodoo Tactical. Condor is the same thing. And because the Molly specification webbing was all jackballed and I couldn't even weave it, and I pretty much said, you know, that's carte blanche across the line. Okay, I privatized that because I didn't think it was fair. I told you guys that. But avoid the groupthink. I mean, guys, you know, to get cool points in the forums will say, yeah, Condor sucks, and, you know, paintballers suck. It's just for paintballers. You know, that's not what we do here in TNP. I don't go down that crap. You know, guys are trying to score cool points in the forums. Whatever, you know, score your points. I just don't do that here. I get to the truth. And I am not influenced by the manufacturers, by groupthink, by the forums. Off we go. Versatility, talking point. I think it'd be a good Minuteman vest. I'm talking to my civilian sheepdogs, my civilian brethren out there that want a rig to put together and say, you know, I just want a grab and go rig that has my rifle stuff on there. Maybe you opt to integrate, as I did here, a multi-tool. I'll talk to you here in a bit about that. You know, pistol, magazines, however you want to configure it. And you can see I have a SIG P226 riding here. Actually, that's a 228. Yep, 228 riding in there. You know, grab and go. Everything's integrated. Great choice. Maybe you're an officer, you want a trunk vest that you can slam in there. And by the way, what this represents, in my opinion, is going back to my nomenclature I made, a DL2 loadout, defensive loadout, which is about 4 magazines, which is 4 pounds of weight. Don't forget that. That's 4 pounds. Each one of these fully loaded, 1 pound. Okay, you put more stuff in there, this rig could easily weigh 30 pounds. Don't forget the caveats that I've always preached on, firepower versus mobility. Those still play, dudes. But officer, you bet. You can throw it in your rig, have it ready to go. Maybe you are a soldier. Is that a valid POU? I have a hard time signing off on that one because, one, you're real estate limited. As you are with all chest rigs. I mean, yeah, we could go ahead and stack double mag pouches here and put 8 out there and really, you know, get a real thick loadout going this way. I'm generally against that because, one, you're building your rig going out, which makes going prone very difficult, which makes going through brush, buildings very difficult. I like to keep my rigs very profiled and trim whenever possible. And I'm kind of jumping ahead to quality, as I just don't know if I would trust this rig under hard combat use. Okay, I'll get to the stitching here in a bit. I don't know, but for intermittent use, you bet. I think it'd be good to go, and you won't have any problems with it. Doffing, that's a new thing I'm saying on my LBE reviews. How easy is it to get on and off? I think a lot is made of, hey man, is it quick release? You know, if I get injured, can I drop it? I think a lot of that is marketing hype. I could be wrong, but there's all those quick release vests from major manufacturers like Blackhawk and stuff. They're expensive. I'm going to take the SIG off just so I can maneuver the vest a little bit better. It's actually pretty easy to get on. It has, you know, an open back, cross straps in the back, so I just put my arms up, swim into it, so to speak, and then fasten the waist belt. The waist belt is a little bit of a pain to get when it's adjusted for you because you want to have it pre-adjusted. I mean, you could have it loose and then you just pull the strap, but then the problem with that is it's probably going to loosen up on you. I find in order to not have this loosen, I double swim it through the buckle just like I did. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, let me run through it. In other words, if you were to just say, hey, this is cool by me, I'll just, you know, crank this and tighten it up, it's going to loosen up on you. Like as you're running and gunning, doing whatever you're going to do, next thing you know, it may probably just come out on you. Murphy's Law will take place and you're jackballed. You got a rig that's not even secured and you're all over the place. Okay, so, you know, double retain your stuff if it's really important. The downside, of course, just like I said, is you got to kind of pull that tight around your waist, reach in an awkward angle, pop it off. Getting it off, same thing. I'll just disconnect either side. That's the benefit of the Condor chest rig. It has, you know, double buckles, so you could detach it from either side and come out of it. I will say it's not super quick to get on. It's not super quick to get off by virtue of its design. There's a lot faster rigs to get on and off. It's about medium speed. Okay, so doffing, about that. A couple other POUs I probably forgot. Oh yeah, how about training vest? Maybe you are an airsoft or a paintball guy. You know, I think it'd be a great option for that. And don't laugh. A lot of guys, you know, again, here we go with the groupthink. You know, airball, you know, airsofters or paintballers, airballers, I was going to say, you know, they suck. They're just a bunch of wannabes. Well, you know, having done paintball, having done airsoft in years past, I don't do it because of my knee anymore. I will tell you that generally there's some pretty badass dudes on the field that play those games. And, you know, if any you know, I went out on several war games that were conducted well, you know, professionally. You know, I saw a lot of blowhards there that professed to be tactical gurus, got their asses kicked by so-called airsofters. And you could say, well, you know, Yeah, but that was just airsoft. What's the difference? You know, airsoft guns, I think they'd be owned in real combat too. I'm just keeping it real. I mean, fire and maneuver, force on force, stress of combat, all those things play. Flanking, you know, command and control, all of it plays in a well done, you know, force on force airsoft paintball battle. So let's be cool, you know, unless you've done it, I wouldn't say. And most of the guys that criticize those games have never done it. Dude, I had the funniest encounters. I got some hilarious stories of guys that just act like they're all that, and we ended up just wasting them on the field. I wish I could still do it. Can't do it with TMP anyhow. Sizing and adjustability. It'll fit most guys. I mean, if you're really big, probably wouldn't fit you. If you're really tiny, probably wouldn't fit you. One size fits most. Again, adjustability of the waist strap. The shoulder straps are adjustable. Works fine. Pretty easy on that. Comfort. Let's say we load up this chest rig all the way, okay? And we're rocking, let's see, if I put a ceramic 8x12 plate in there, that's 8 pounds for 35 pounds. I didn't load it to that level. I think most I had was around 15 pounds rocking it in a running gun, maybe less than that. It was very comfortable with that, and I estimate with full weight, it'd be comfortable too, just as comfortable. One of the caveats though is make sure you really cinch it up. I mean, this style of rig really needs to have those cross straps behind you sized correctly, that waist strap sized correctly, so it snugs to your body and conforms. Once you do that, you're going to find it's very comfortable. In fact, all the testers said that when they ran. They're like, yeah, man, I just really like the feel of this. It's just really low profile. It's not banging into stuff. And because it's not a totally enclosed design like a cummerbund LBE system, you know, like my Blackwater one that you've seen on camera lots, it's going to breathe better. It's open in the back, so you don't have to worry about that. It's only closed in certain portions. Yeah, this is not ventilated here. You got a little bit of, you know, mesh right there. Pretty comfortable, even in hot weather. Of course, through the panels, no ventilation. Shoulder strap design to me is very important with LBE. It always has been. I've talked to it many times. One of the things I absolutely hate is an occluded shoulder system. In other words, a buckle right where I need to do my shoulder weld for my weapon, whether it's kneeling, prone, standing. I don't need stuff here. And I'm amazed at how many high-end, supposedly high-end tactical LBE systems have it. They have a bunch of crap here. And guys, I see some, you know, major dudes, you know, servicemen that are out there and they act like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm like, how do you even shoot your gun with this big buckle right there? You won't have the problem with the Condor modular chest rig. It's actually a pretty clean shoulder. You do have some horizontal molly webbing. It does not get in the way. Okay, it's closed cell foam and it's wide, so if you load it up all the way to, you know, the 35 pounds or so, it's going to be comfortable. Rolling in the true spec version of this style of vest, it does not have padding on the straps at all, and I find this to be very comfortable as well. Although I have not evaluated it full loadout, 35 pounds plus. I would estimate that the padded strap would probably be more comfortable because it distributes weight more and it is padded. But I don't like a lot of padding, just a little bit. And this might have just a little too much. I just want a very thin piece of dense, really dense closed cell, not open cell, but closed cell foam. And by all indications, that's what the Condor rig is running. So if you have this all loaded up, how stable is it? Well, very stable, I will say. In other words, is it twisting around? Is it consistently placed on your body, on your torso? My indication from my testing, all the crew members here in the Nutnfancy project that ran it, thumbs up, man. It locks into place very nicely. So comfort is high, ventilation, all that's good. The weight is actually what kind of turned me on to this, to review it. I looked at it and I weighed it, and I'm sorry I don't have it. I have it all loaded up, and I'm not stripping all the pouches off it to weigh it, you know, naked. But it's pretty lightweight, and that's been my biggest beef against a Voodoo/Condor tactical line. Is they use that very heavy vinyl-backed garbage. I shouldn't say garbage. That's harsh, but lower quality Cordura nylon, which is moderately durable, not super durable, and it's very heavy. A high-quality, licensed Cordura nylon is this right here, and it has a polyurethane backing, not vinyl, and it's lightweight. Okay, and True Spec again uses that. This does not. This, if it did, it would brag about it. It'd have a big old tag hanging off it saying licensed by Cordura. They don't. It's a knockoff, but the thing is, it's pretty good knockoff, and that's evidenced in the weight. It's very lightweight, you know, unloaded. In other words, nothing on it. How's the colorations? You can obviously see I've got olive drab in there. They also have an ACU tan and black. I don't think they make it a multicam. There are other LBE systems in the Condor line that do go with multicam. You're going to pay a licensing fee for that, so you're going to add about 30% to the cost. I know it sucks, but that's what you get when you go all multicam. Armor H2O integration. I'm going to start with armor. Here comes a negative thing about this vest, and I don't like it. First off, if I'm going to go, let's get back to POU, and maybe I didn't mention this. If I want a plate carrier, in other words, I want a ceramic plate on my thorax, and I'm going to choose this to carry it, I do not like how this system works. One is you can see it peeking out. See that? By the way, this is not a hard armor plate. This is the one you've seen before in my LBE reviews. From Diamondback Tactical, it's their FAPC Level 3A soft armor plate, and that stands for Fast Attack Plate Carrier. That's a proprietary LBE system that Diamondback does, which is outstanding, but also extremely expensive, unfortunately. But that's what you're going to be looking at. An 8x12 plate might be a little bit smaller. I didn't measure this, but it's around there. It's going to be like showing, you know. I think it's just Bush League. I don't like it. I don't like an exposed plate. There's so many better ways to do it. And if I'm going to be running a plate, I probably won't be choosing this. I say probably because I don't want to make a world of absolutes with this. Also, I don't really dig the pocket that it goes into. Okay, so it comes down here. Remember, your ceramic plate that you put in, again, this isn't it, it's heavy, 8 to 10 pounds. So this pocket, I think, is sturdy enough because this is going to bear the weight here, this riveted portion. I don't like this strap though. Look at this. This is just weenie. You know, it doesn't, look at all the flop that has in there. You know, if we're going to have a strap, let's have a strap. I mean, it freaking cranks down on that thing. This is not wide enough to accommodate an 8x12 plate. Again, I don't have my ruler, but I can pretty much tell you it's not. It's going to be, you know, bulging out like that. And again, you probably need an operator cut contoured plate, which I recommend. I think I did a review on one of those a while back. I may annotate it. This is what I prefer if you can get away with it. If you're a Civ guy, maybe an LE guy, and a Civ guy says, well, I can't get body armor. Okay, let's just say if you're an LE guy, level 3A, pretty much stop any pistol round out there. Not rifle though. Again, firepower versus mobility. Well, I want a rifle plate. Okay, you're going to carry a 10-pound plate. Try running gunning with that and get back to me. You're going to suck. It's a lot of weight, and you're going to fatigue so quickly with your ammo, all the stuff I've talked about 1,000 times. Okay, so that's a plate pocket. I'll give it probably a C- for design. This is supposed to accommodate it, but again, it's not wide enough for it, so it's just perplexing to me how it's designed. I don't like it. What's that, Nutnfancy? This is just a corrugated piece of plastic, which if you get this rig or one like it, I recommend you also cut out. I would venture to say most dudes that get this style of carrier are not going to integrate armor to it. That being said, getting hoarse. If you run pistol, or forget pistol, if you run anything on this top, I'm going to call it the sternum portion right here, if you don't have a stiff backing on that, it's going to flop around. I know from experience and from testing this rig and that True Spec rig I just showed you. It flops around and is obnoxious. And that makes the weapon, you know, extracting weapon, you know, inconsistent, which I hate. So it's a simple matter in this is you just cut that plastic out, cut it to the, you know, diminutive sized pocket that it has. And now you have a stiff backing for, in my case, the pistol. All right, and it cost me all of about 25 cents to do that. It's not armor, it's for rigidity, getting back to the stability issue. Okay, yeah, anytime you need to run something heavy up there, you better have a backing on it. Low profile, high speed rig. Another downside, there's no water integration in it. What I'm talking about is since there's no rear, there's no molly webbing in the, the back, obviously, how are you going to carry your water? Well, I'll just wear my Camelback. Okay, so you're going to wear straps over these straps? Okay, you with me? Now you've just made your system ultra complex. I wouldn't. You know, this is a disadvantage to this style of LBE, that you do not have water integration. And guys who goes, oh, I don't need that. Well, yeah, you do. You need to stay hydrated or your performance is going to suck, especially when it's hot out there. Just be advised, you're going to have to come up with some way to carry your water with you if you opt for the Condor modular chest rig. Special features. Hey, I'm getting through this review. I can't believe it. I've talked about some already. I'm going to start right here. One is that there is that horizontal molly webbing on the shoulder straps. And some guys go, that's a rock in place, man. Now I can put my knife there and go, upside down knife. I'd be careful. Be very careful. There's two things you need to be careful with. Here's why. Here's an outstanding Spyderco Aqua Salt. Yeah, I'll review it sometime. You mount that here and it'd be easy to do. I mean, the G-clip would come right in there, then I'd just use some Ranger rubber bands over there. It'd lock into place, no doubt. But now you've got an interference built in between your magazine extraction and your knife. Okay, you don't want to do that. When you say, well, I'll mount it higher. Well, now your blade's like that. My point in saying this is even though they give you the option here, and a lot of LBE is this way, a lot of it's for marketing. It doesn't mean you can or should use it. The one thing you might want to use it for is something really short that will not cause an interference with mag extraction, maybe a multi-tool. Oh yeah, the Duracoated charge. There it is. And notice I have that mounted high enough where, you know, I haven't tested it, but I'm looking at it and in practice with a little bit. I think there's no interference here. Okay, there's some elastic routing loops right here for whatever, your radio, you know, your unit radio. Again, I don't know if this is the best soldier rig out there. Special features, there is a pocket here, so you open this up. This is hype. This is pretty much an unusable pocket to me. Okay, a lot of these pockets that they have integrated into LBE are usually going to be unusable. Look how tight that is. And also, more importantly, when you put something bulky in there, let's say a roll of duct tape, can you imagine what's going to happen to this patch? It's going to bulge out, it's going to change everything. You're losing stability in the ride of the rig. I just don't do it. And it's slow to get out. I mean, that's not fast. And then maybe for papers, something really slim that maybe you have an extraction cord on, a 550 cord that's dangling out that you can grab it, it would work for that. Then there's another pocket down yonder, down low, right here. And it's got a perplexing section of what, you know, elastic sewn in it. I'm not really sure what that's for. Is that supposed to hold magazines? I don't think it does crap. By the way, you can kind of see inside, and I think I was wrong. This is the higher quality knockoff Cordura. See that? It's polyurethane coated. And I don't know if you're, let me get my light. Streamlight Stylus Pro, still in action in the Nutnfancy project. Here you go. See that? That's a polyurethane coating. It's not vinyl backed. If it was black, it would be vinyl backed. So the quality of Cordura, even though as far as I know is not genuine Cordura, pretty high. That's very important for you to understand because it drives to the weight and the durability issue. Special features, then we get to a very perplexing set of snaps on the bottom. Okay, and first off, while we're down here, you can see there's no belt integration. So if you want to integrate a web belt, there's no provision to do that. There's no way you can tie off 550 cord. It's not designed for that. It's a standalone, low profile, high speed nylon chest rig. The snaps here, I guess, I'm really not sure what they're for. And I did some online research trying to find out, but you could fold this down and they snap here. And then I was thinking, well, maybe it's for when you fold this down. And if I didn't mention it, let me mention this. Why would you ever want to fold this down? I can't remember. I did another take, but it's designed so you can unsnap this right here and access to chest pockets of your uniform, whatever. And, you know, I just see dubious use for that. I mean, I always wear a vest, and they're completely covered. I just use exterior pockets on the LBE. So I don't really buy off. And folding this down and snapping it here, I don't know. I don't see any use whatsoever is my point for these snaps at all. And I don't think anybody will use them. I could be wrong. There are some drainage holes there. That's good in case that interior pocket ever fills with water on a swim. I like to see that. And then we get into quality. I probably forgot some special features, but that's special enough. I'm not digging the plastic on the modular chest rig by Condor. There's something about it that does not give me a warm feeling. For instance, this right here. Again, this is a snap that you can unsnap and access whatever's underneath, I guess. On the good side, it is sized well. The problem with that True Spec one I showed you is very floppy. So when I mounted a pistol on there, the sizing of it was all jacked up. You don't have that problem on the Condor at all. It's very tight. So this sternum plate will ride nicely. Will that break on you? I didn't evaluate it in super cold weather. I suspect it won't. And if it did, you could repair it with 550 cord. Just doesn't give me a super warm fuzzy. On the other side, guys will say, well, I prefer metal. I don't prefer metal. I just prefer some, you know, polymer that I could trust, name brand stuff. You know, metal D-ring will add a lot of weight to your loadout rig. That's just me. Okay, so not digging it too much. And that goes same for the buckles all around. They're no name. Okay, Chinese produced. They're not Fast Tech's quality. If you look at that True Spec brand, I don't know if they're Fast Tech's, but they're higher quality. You can tell by looking at them and by the actuation of the snap. And I've rarely had these style fail on me. I have had it to where they just take a set and they don't snap again. But maybe these they just strike me, again, I'm speaking off the cuff, not by testing experience, because they've been outstanding in testing. I can't say anything else. But this is kind of what drives to my recommendation of maybe not using it in a super hardcore environment where you really, really need it. If that's what you want from this rig, I think you're kind of being unrealistic. Remember, it's a $40 rig. Maybe you need to go ahead and spend another, I don't know, $80 or so and get a really nice rig. And there's lots of high value ones out there. I'll try to flesh them out as time goes on. By the way, that's how you do your webbing. See, that's a catch for it, elastic loop, and that way you don't have it flopping all over the place. There's the stitching. A lot of guys will criticize the stitching on the Condor. Overall, on this rig, in testing, found it to be pretty darn good. Check this. I did blow out on this side right here. I better end this review, it's going long. Right there. I left it like that. That's easily fixed, and I tugged on this other stitching to see if it would break out. It didn't. And I'm pulling on that hard. And I pulled on other parts of it too. It's not up to Blackhawk standards. It's not going to be up to Eagle, London Bridge, Tactical Tailor. If you want that stuff, pay for that stuff. But overall, I will say it's good, not excellent. Stitching. Talked about the mesh. There's a little mesh here. And we've talked about the fabric. One thing I was going to tell you, be careful. You know, this is a DL2. That is a medium loadout, about 4 magazines, some pistol mags. I think I mentioned that. If I didn't, I did now. Guys will say, well, you know, I did mention how you can build it out. If you do that, I'm just going to put this in this review. Be careful you don't do this, that you put a pouch that's occluding the magazine extraction. You want to mount it low so this magazine is easy to extract and to go fast. Be careful when you put your rig together. Actually go out and test it, because you're going to find out that you're going to have interferences that you didn't know about. You're going to have some weird things. Man, I didn't know that was so hard to grab. Things will fall out, and you're going to have to rearrange it, and more importantly, fine tune it for your POU. Value for it is Condor chest rig, pretty high, dudes. $40. Again, I'm going to put it as a medium quality chest rig. Plate carrier, I think it kind of sucks. I don't like the pocket. I don't like the integration of the pocket. I didn't mention this, but I will now. The MOLLE is actually pretty decent. The webbing, although it's not the highest quality I've seen, is actually medium quality, and the MOLLE specification seems to be adhered to. There is no nameplate Velcro. Notice I had to stitch that on by hand. That kind of sucks. But in a way I can understand why they didn't do it, because they're saying, well, you know, first off, low price. Secondly, they want you to be able to use all this real estate. I like the sternum plate. Gives you options, just like you see with me, using it as a pistol carrier. I know your mileage may vary. Just depends on what you want to do. The track record in the Nutnfancy project with this vest, I have to say, and be honest, is pretty darn good. Pretty darn good, except for that minor failure of the stitching on the very back. I didn't see any other issues with it. Granted, I have some pet peeves like the buckles, but that's more subjective than anything. There you have it. That's a Nutnfancy review on the Condor tactical load-bearing equipment modular chest rig, again by Condor. Thanks for tuning in. Hope that helped. See you. Trick time on a regular 226 9mm. And then also, this is a Condor chest rig. Very affordable. I'm going to do a tabletop review on it. Yes, I like affordable things for you guys, not just the expensive stuff. I want high-value stuff that works. It's running tac-force open top magazine carriers. This is black water pouch and a black water pistol pouch on the side. It has an armor pocket here. I'll talk more details in the tabletop. So far, I'm digging it. And then, enough talking. Let's shoot. Right on.